Hi everyone, it's Plastic EP from Melbourne, Australia. Now it's about time we get a superstar on the show, and you can't get any bigger than Liberty Devitto. You're no relation to Danny Devitto, are you, Liberty?
I am not. He has one T. I have two T's in my name. And
No,
you know what? You keep with your
you
name
know why
plastic.
I say that? Devitto's a famous name, obviously, in New York, yeah?
Oh, it's a big name. I have a big family.
I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah, I have a huge family. My grandmother had 11 kids.
It's amazing. Now listen, you grew up in New York, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Just saying, growing up musically, what can you remember the first group or music inspiration that you had? Do we start in 1964, the Beatles, or what was before that?
Oh, well, I was mowing lawns. I lived down on Long Island. So I would mow lawns like you do a corner house for $2 at the time. And I would go buy records when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I think the Mellow Kings were the first band. They did a song called The Book of Love. And that was the first record I bought. But I was into music in the beginning, like the Dion and the Belmonts and the Four Seasons and all stuff like that. Yeah. And then when the Beatles came out, of course, it changed my life because then I wanted to play the drums and I wanted to be in a band with all my best friends and travel the world, which many times we have been to Australia. And so I know it's called Melbourne, not Melbourne.
Yeah, I know. I exaggerate. You understand? I exaggerate because that's my style. But let me tell you, how big was the Beach Boys on you? I'm just saying.
Oh, the Beach Boys are big. Love them. Matter of fact, some of the first 45s that I bought were, Surfing USA, those tunes. Actually, the drummer that played on that, of course, Hal Blaine was the drummer that played on the Beach Boys songs. And he played on so many other groups that later on in life, I was disappointed when I found out that he was 6 of my favorite drummers. He played on so many different records.
That's right. But I'm just saying why I'm doing that is because you're lucky you lived in the States. I'm born here in Australia. So what happens is I was too young for the Beatles in 64. I grew up with the Monkees in 67. So I'm like the monkey music person, but then it doesn't matter what band you grow up with, your first influences, you're still going to end up at the Beatles. Have you noticed that? Right.
Yeah, everybody goes back to the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you said, call me plastic all the time, there's a song by the Jefferson's Airplane called Plastic Fantastic Lover.
That's right. You know that somebody called me elastic plastic the other week, right? As I'm getting out there. And I've got to tell you, I've interviewed quite a few great people. I'm saying like Suzi Quatro, like she was a big influence in 73. I mean, the cover of that album with the leather gear, and she lives in England, and I interviewed her, and we had a laugh, I've got to tell you. I'm having a laugh now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I get these emails and stuff from these people. One guy sampled us. He was from England. The name of the band was Marmaduke Duke, and they did a song called Rubber Lover. It's about what it's about. And it was great. He sent it to me. It's fantastic.
I've got to say, I like your NASA hat. Is that because you're watching the space program and that, or?
No, it's because I'm out of this world.
I love that. This is what I like. I like the oddball interview where you. And I got to say, I've seen this documentary that you did, man, and I'm fascinated with the way you play the drums. And you got to understand, you got to start somewhere. So what did you start off? Obviously, in high school bands or just in bands as you got older?
No. When I was in the 6th grade, my parents bought me drums because I asked my dad later on, why did he buy me drums? I didn't ask for them, but a cousin was selling a set of drums, so he bought them. And later on in my career, I said, why did you buy me drums? And he said, because they didn't make Prozac when you were a kid. So it was to get my energy out. So I joined the 6th grade school band. I was 12 years old. And the teacher told me to put the sticks down because I would never do anything with drums because I couldn't do the buzz roll in the national anthem, that goes all the way through. And so I kind of got discouraged. And it wasn't until the Beatles came on that I said, that's what I want to do. And my mother said, well, why don't you try going for lessons? And the guy would not teach me how to play like Ringo. He wanted to teach me jazz. And I said, you know, forget about this. I'm not doing it. You know, and I learned myself. I was self-taught.
I got to say, what was your first drum kit? Let's say professional, reasonable drum kit. You say that was the start of your drumming career.
Well, the first drum kit that one of my parents bought me was an old Leedy set. Had like a 26-inch bass drum with this picture of a rowboat going down the river. You know, it was pretty cool. But I have a book out, right? It's called Liberty, Life, Billy, and the Pursuit of Happiness. And in there, there's pictures of some of the drum sets that I had. And my father beat me one day. You know, he was a New York City policeman and he used to bring the job home. And he beat me up one day when I was like 15 years old. And to make up for it, he brought me into the city and bought me a new set of drums. And it was a beautiful blue sparkle Slingerland set. And I loved it.
But I'm going to say, being influenced by the Beatles and Ringo, right? You obviously wanted a Ludwig kit, didn't you?
I did. But when we went to Frank Wolf on 42nd Street here in Manhattan, he recommended the Slingerland kit. You know, so we said, okay, we'll get it. Let's do it.
You know what I love about you? I was going to get to your book. You already got to it. I don't want to get to the book yet because I want to talk more about your musical career. But look, growing up now, in 1967, that's when you met Billy, is it?
Yeah. Well, I was playing in a club called the My House on Long Island. And I was in a band called the New Rock Workshop. He was in a band called the Hassles. And we used to just pass each other in the night, you know, and say hi to each other. But I would watch him and he would watch me. And I remember he did one of my favorite songs that I loved. And I thought, this guy's pretty good, you know? So it was cool. Yeah. So when I got the audition for Billy, it was easy to get in because he knew who I was already and knew how I played.
So did you start playing with him? What year did you start playing with him?
74.
74?
Yeah.
But you knew him in 67?
Yes, I did. And
when did he start writing songs? Did he write songs all his life from the start, or did he develop it after?
No, he developed. With the band that I saw him with, they were doing cover tunes, you know, like Sam and Dave stuff and things like that. You Got Me Humming. They actually had a single out on Universal called You Got Me Humming by the Hassles. Yeah. And then he started writing songs. He went to California. That's when he was playing the piano bar and was writing songs. Yeah.
Now, I just want to get back to the music scene, right? Because you're in the music scene. 67, as I said, the Monkees are red hot. The Beatles are going, you know, psychedelic with mustaches and all that. Then you've got Mamas and Papas, and you've got all these big influence bands happening. And then in 68, bubblegum music starts, like with Simon Says.
Right.
Were you into bubblegum as well, like Yummy Yummy and Simon Says? I'm just asking.
No, those songs actually wore out my finger because I used to press the button on the radio to change the radio. No, I was never into that kind of stuff. I liked, like you said, the Monkees were going, the Beatles, the psychedelic, you know, the whole Sgt. Pepper Magical Mystery Tour, all that stuff I loved. And then Hendrix came along at that time, and Cream, you know, that's what I was in. I was into the albums, not the 45s then. You know, the charts were totally changing at the time. Yummy Yummy could be number one on the singles charts, but Cream's Disraeli Gears could be number one on the album charts. So it was, you know, an underground kind of thing.
We were always behind here in Australia. We never knew what was going on because we were so far behind, no internet, no nothing, that, you know, the trends we were like 6 to 1 year behind you guys. So that's why I'm fascinated by the period of music that really influenced you. So there's a lot of, let's say, how can I say, Somebody to Love, as I said, by Jefferson Airplane. To me, that blows me away, that song. Does that blow you away?
That's a great song. Yeah, that's a great song.
So give me some of these great songs from 67, 68, 69 that you were going, that's great, I've got to go home and just play.
Well, I'll just tell you one that I ripped off. Was the beginning of Only the Good Die Young. The drum fill in the beginning with the brushes is a ripoff from a Jimi Hendrix album, Axis Boulder's Love. He does a song called Up From the Skies, and it starts exactly the same way that I started Only the Good Die Young. Yeah, so they were a big influence. Also, there was a band from New York called the Young Rascals.
Yeah.
They were a really big influence. Dino Danelli he blew Ringo off the drum stool for me. You know, he was a guy. And Carmine was in the Vanilla Fudge at that time. And, you know, it was just a wonderful time for music. You know, people were really expressing themselves in different ways.
As you're saying, the Young Rascals, I've never seen a drummer that can spin the sticks and play like that, like a real showman. But not only a showman, like a totally professional drummer. You looked at him and he's the real deal. He's not just banging the sticks. This guy's controlling the scene.
You know what? I met them too when I was 16 years old. Something came up where me and my friends got to go backstage at one of their shows. They were playing at a high school in the town next to mine. And we went backstage to meet the opening act. And then I saw the Rascals across the hall. And the guy says, "Oh, you want to meet them too?" And I was like, "What, are you kidding me?" And the thing that changed my life was how nice they were to me. You know, they knew I was a young kid that really was asking questions about what it's like to do what they do. And they answered me like they were one of my family. And, you know, because of them, I take that attitude with me now when I meet people. You know, just to be nice. It's easy to be nice. It's hard to be rotten to people, you know.
See, this is why we're going back and we're looking for trigger points and things that have like spurred you on to the next thing. That's what you've actually done now. By remembering that recall, this is some of your happiest times of your life because the music's in you. You know that. The music's in you. When you do songs, whether you're playing drums or you're writing it, you're always going back to the music. That's true, isn't it?
Always going back to the music. And that's why Innocent Man, the album I did with Billy Joel, was the easiest album for us to make because we went right back to the music that we first grew up with, the Drifters, the Four Seasons, you know, Burt Bacharach, all that kind of stuff is on there. So that was really easy to do because it was very familiar to us. And then Nile and Curtain also was easy because it was a tip of the hat to the Beatles. So that was easy to do. You know, so yes, you always go back and you always reference those things when you're in the studio recording. So you take them with you for your life.
Do you know the fantastic thing, right? I'm just saying, Billy Joel is the songwriter. You're the drummer. But let me tell you, the drummer is important as a songwriter to get that right beat. That's why Ringo was the perfect fit for the Beatles because he tailor-made every song. Like, you know what I'm going to say. The song Rain, to me, that's the most underrated song, but his drumming is the most superior on that track. And he's even said himself, I don't even know how I did it, but like, if I have to say that's my best drumming, it's the song Rain. Am I right or not?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know what? Now that they re-released all these albums and they mastered them and everything, you could really hear Ringo's drums are pushed up front now. And he does some amazing stuff, as simple as it is. It's an amazing part that goes for the song. He was a songwriter's drummer. They called me a songwriter's drummer too. The only solo I ever did my entire life is on that Hired Gun video. That's the only time I ever did a solo because the director says, you got to do a solo right now. And I was like, I don't solo. I don't do that. But he made me do it. That's the only time. I love a song. I love music. I like the drums, but I love music. I don't like drum solos. And Ringo is the same way. You know, they asked him on Abbey Road. They said, okay, well, it's time you need to do a solo. And he was like, I don't do a solo. And they just did a whole bunch of stuff, and George Martin pieced it together to make this great solo. You know, we're not that kind of people. I'm like, that's like me, Charlie Watts. If he is the hardest drummer to copy, to duplicate, because if you don't do what he's doing, you screw up the song. It's hard to throw your own personality into a Rolling Stones song because Charlie's is so good for the Stones. What's his name? Larry Mullen from U2 is another one. Everything's very simple, but when he plays Bloody Sunday, you feel that Ireland stress and that whole thing that happened. You know, he makes up parts. That's what the great drummer does in a band. I
got to say, the drums are the soul of the song. That's the truth.
Yeah.
The drums are the soul of the song. And if you got the right drum beat, it lifts the song 10 times higher than what it normally would be if it's just a standard drum beat.
Sure, it does, and that's an art that these drummers, these drummers that talk about all this bull on the internet, and it's like, it's creating a part. Like, you come in with a song like Just the Way You Are, Billy plays it for us, and it's like, that's a great song, just the way you're playing it on the piano and singing it. I want to be on that record. I have to create a part to make that song better. And fortunately, I think I did, and it won a Grammy.
I got to ask you now about Uptown Girl. Tell me the kind of style of drumming, and if you remember recording that song, because that's a great song. That's like going back to doo-wop, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's very Four Seasons. Yeah, I remember it well. The beginning lick that I do, I do not remember thinking of doing that. I just remember like hearing the count off and grabbing the sticks and doing that lick. And it is definitely Four Seasons. And it also has that Dino Danelli style where the bass drum does more of the fills, like it goes boom, 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 boom. Whenever I feel like breaking it up, that's real.
Let me tell you, when you're not playing the kit and you're doing the ba-ba-booms, right, it's freaking me out. Because you know what? Drummers do that. They can play the drum, boom, ba-ba-boom, and they're actually doing the beat, what they play. But it's very hard to do when you're not playing the drum.
Well, what's funny, talk about guys saying something and it becomes the part. Do you know that in Tutti Frutti by Little Richard, he was trying to tell the drummer what to play, and he was saying, I want you to play this. And then he said, why don't you do that?
You know what? Until you said that, I couldn't understand why he sang those lyrics. And it makes sense. I didn't know that. That he's imitating the drum.
Yeah. He's trying to tell the drummer what to play.
I thought that was part of the song.
No, there's some great stories from the past. Like
I didn't know that.
Hal Blaine playing on Be My Baby, right? The beat goes boom, 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 bra, boom. He was playing boom, bra, boom, boom, bra, boom, bra, boom, boom. And the stick got caught in his sleeve. So it went boom, bra, boom, boom, bra, boom, bra, boom, 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 bra. And he missed it. And Phil Spector went, that's it.
Gee, the stories you got to tell. I'm just saying about your recording career. Let's just talk about this overall, all right? Now, this is very important. This is why I want to break it down for you as a friend, right? But just listen. We know where you came from. We know what you did. We know you became a professional drummer. We know you spent 30 years with Billy Joel.
Yes.
Now, look how things turned in 2020, right? You got one of the biggest selling books out there, right? Liberty Life, Billy and the Persuit of Happiness. One of the biggest books. Everybody wants to talk to you. You're like this celebrity from playing the drums. And I mean, if anybody's on top of the world in 2020, I'm going to tell you, it's you.
Let me tell you something. I just proved that any idiot can write a book.
How did you write it? Took you 15 months, I heard.
Oh, longer than that. I started writing it as a family history for my girls, my family, my kids. And then when me and Billy kind of parted, I started to write down things with Billy, and in book 2, if he pisses me off again, you'll probably get the other version of what I wrote down. But, so it was easy for me to go back and remember what it was like in the studio playing, those songs and how we laid them down and everything like that. So yeah, it took a long time because the family history part took a long time. But 15 years was just writing about Billy and me and, the bands I was in before it, because I say something, when we got inducted, myself, Richie Cannata, and Russell Javers and the late Doug Stegmeyer got inducted into the Long Island Music Hall of Fame. And I said in my speech, I said, Billy did not make us great. He saw the greatness in us. That's what because everybody thinks that Billy made us great. No, he used us to make his stuff better, you know?
But that's what I was talking about. If you got the right drummer, it lifts the song. You got the right bass player, it lifts the song.
Right, exactly.
I mean, if Billy, I'm just saying, Billy could put a song out by himself and play every instrument. Has he done that?
No, no, he can't. He always said that. He said that if I could play the drums, I'd want to play like Little Bitty Devitto. That's what he says.
Okay. Now look, I want to talk about history. Let's talk about history, okay? I'm trying to put things in perspective for you. Okay.
Well, it's funny over here in America. We're changing history every day, so it's very difficult to talk about it.
What I'm trying to get at, when you look at history, Liberty, let's just talk now about Pete Best, for example. He was with the Beatles 2 years. See you, Pete. Okay, now, you're with Billy for 30 years.
Yes,
you played on 22 of the biggest selling 23 songs that he had.
Right.
How many albums you sold, what you did. 30 years, people can't stay married for 30 years. Am I saying as it is?
You're saying it as it is, and I'm proof of that because I'm on my third marriage myself.
No, but listen, what I'm trying to say is if you're in a band, it's actually a fickle business and industry. You're lucky if you stay with someone for 5 years.
Oh, yeah. 5 years. I remember when I played with Felix Cavalieri for a while from the Rascals. And he used to say, a band has 5 years. Once they put a record out, you can live off that record for 5 years before your career's over if you don't have another hit.
Excuse me, just got a bit of a cough. I haven't got anything. Sorry. I don't want to scare you.
I thought you were going to throw up.
And you're in America and I'm in Australia, so I haven't got a problem, all right?
How about this, man? It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, but listen, let me tell you, Liberty.
What?
I'm in Melbourne and you're in, I know where you are. I know. I've done my research, right? Hang on a second. I don't want you to tell me where you are. I want to see if I can work it out. You're somewhere. You're in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Yes, in Brooklyn. Have I done my research or not?
Wow, that was good. That was really good.
Have you seen that movie? That one about the one where the two guys are like Jerry Lewis, but they're not actually Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, the Brooklyn Bridge? That monster, the gorilla, when they're on an island. Do you remember that movie?
What?
There's a movie, right? A horror movie. Not a horror movie. It's a comedy. And two guys, they look like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Okay.
They call something the Brooklyn Bridge.
I never saw it. No.
Have you never seen this movie? Anyway, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not making it up. Right? There's two guys. One looks like Dean Martin and one looks like Jerry Lewis. And they put out a movie and it's got a gorilla in it, right? And they're on an island. And it's something the Brooklyn Bridge. Do you not know what I'm talking about because you're in Brooklyn?
I know what you're talking about, the Brooklyn Bridge.
But there's a movie. There's a movie. Oh, I gotta look it up for you because you probably think I'm
gonna have to.
I'm not. I just can't think of the title because I'm too busy thinking boom bada boom bada. You got me going in there.
You might be writing a movie right now.
No. You. Anyway, getting back to what I'm saying. So when you look at history, I mean, people can't stand each other after even 6 months. So it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking specifically now about you and Billy. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that you've been together 30 years, after 30 years, if I meet someone for 30 years, I'd tell them where to go. That's just me.
Yeah. At the end of the tours, we used to say, okay, tour's over. Don't call me. And we go home.
Yeah, but that's normal. I got to say something, right? I'm born in Australia, but my parents were Greek. Like you're from an Italian family. And we like to be loud. That's why I'm on the net. I'm loud. I can't help it. You know, my wife and I, one day, okay, next day arguing. That's like life. You know, like
of course it is.
Of
course it is. I write in a book that Sunday dinners were like an opera. It starts off slow, like then people are yelling at each other, then it gets soft again. Yeah.
You know that show.
You know, let's say Greek and Italians, you know, same face, same race. You know,
Exactly.
that's what
Let
they
me
say.
tell you, you
Yeah.
know that show Married with Children?
Yes.
You know Al Bundy?
Yeah.
I can't understand it, but when I see that show, the guy thinks exactly like me. Like he's not a character. I actually think similar to him. So while
Yeah.
I was looking at him thinking this guy's an idiot, he doesn't understand things. I love his humor. I can
Yeah.
identify with him.
Well, I'll tell you what, the show Raymond, you know,
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it for a while. It was too much like my family. My father was just like that to my mother. You know, the way the older his parents were. You know, I couldn't watch it. It was like too real to me.
Yeah, that's right. But this is what people don't understand. It's like, I'll be honest with you, right? It's 1967. I'm 8, 9 years old. I'm watching the Monkees. I've never seen anything like it before. The music, the guys playing, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, gee, they're great. They play their own instruments. They drive in the monkey mobile. They live in a beach house. And at that age, you're thinking, I thought they really lived in a beach house. Like, I really did. And I believe that they played their instruments. I didn't know because they had the wrecking crew behind them or who they had behind them, studio songwriters doing the songs, because I'm only looking Michael, Mickey, Davey, Peter. I'm 8, 9 years old. Who cares who played on the records? It make a difference to me. And then later they became a real band.
And you see, to us here in New York, we're thinking like you're sitting there watching the Monkees petting your kangaroo and holding your koala bear. The first time we came to Australia in 1976 with Billy, we were like, they called us on the phone and they said, well, you're going to Australia. We were like, who's going to do the sound? A kangaroo? What are they going to? We knew nothing about Australia.
How many times have you been to Australia?
Oh, probably about 12 times.
See, I mean, look, come on. Isn't that one of the perks of the business? You've been to Australia 12 times.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if you can use this on your thing here, but if an American guy can't get laid in Australia, he might as well just go home.
Well, I've got to say something. You know, we've got beaches. Like, you know that. You love our lifestyle here, don't you?
Oh, Banzai Beach. We used to go to in Sydney all the time. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I have a girl that I work with there. Her name is Sarah. She's a singer in Melbourne, a jazz singer. I do some things online sometimes with her. Yeah, it's good. Got some good talent there. You know, it's the first one in America to play Who Could It Be Now by, what's their names? What's the name of that band? Men at Work. I was the first one to ever play them in America. I brought home a tape that the guy from Sony gave me that they hadn't released yet. And I played it on a radio station here in America. I love it. Love the music.
Do you know what's a great band? I just want to tell you something what I know. If, you know, you listen to me, don't listen there's a lot of great Australian bands over the years.
Yeah.
Now, one of the best, of course, you know, AC/DC.
Yeah.
No one's in their league. But let me tell you something. There's another band called the Angels, and they were a support band for them before AC/DC got too big. And they were with the same production company, Alberts, but they left the company, right? The production company, Alberts, the songwriters and whatever. They're called the Angels. Go on the net sometimes and listen to their songs. And I'll tell you what, as far as songwriting goes in songs, it will blow your mind away, some of these songs.
Yeah, good, huh?
The Angels, just remember that name. The lead singer's passed away.
Well, you know, another band that come from Australia, the lead singer passed away, was In Excess. They were great. They were great. I remember going there, and I was with the Sabian rep, you know, cymbal company, and he was telling me about this band that practices in the garage, and they're called In Excess. You know, it's like, wow, they were really good.
Now listen, let's go to some fan experiences. You're with Billy Joel, right? No, seriously, this is what you got to remember. It's like Beatlemania, but it's Billy Joel mania, right?
Right.
So what happens is you're on tour as many times as you've come here. Tell me some fantastic experiences you've had that you haven't told anybody. Like something great that you remember, but you've never said on any radio interview.
Something that's not in the book?
I want something that no one knows. Tell this show something that no one knows.
only my family probably remembers this, but the first time I came to Australia, I brought a girl back to New York with me, an Australian girl, because I was like fascinated by Australia. Yeah. And you know, it's funny. We used to play, be in Sydney playing, and we used to talk about going to Perth. And people in Sydney were like, oh, we've never been to Perth. You know, we've always went to Perth. Loved it. Got drunk on more Australian beer than ever. You know? And it was a party every time we went to Australia. Always a party. Girls. Oh, girls.
You know, listen, you're married now, aren't you?
For the third time. I'm going to try to keep it this.
All right, listen. Coming back to your rock and roll lifestyle, right? You still got that rock and roll lifestyle, but you don't have to tell anybody if you haven't, right? You still got that rock and roll lifestyle. The rock and roll lifestyle's never going to leave you.
No, it never will. It never will.
Now tell me.
You know, I don't have to actually do it. I just have to know I still got it. That's all.
Okay. Now I've got to ask you, some of the biggest celebrities, music celebrity-wise, I mean, you know Blondie, do you? The band?
Yeah.
Are they good friends of yours?
I can't call them up, but yeah, you know.
Who else are good friends of yours? Tell me a couple of bands that are your good friends.
Oh, well, let's say, because of the guys that we did Hired Gun with, you know, that Five Finger Death Punch, they are. There's guys that I remember looking down playing once, and there was Lars from Metallica down there, you know, and Bernard Purdy is one of my good friends who played on Steely Dan's records and all those, you know, Steve Gadd, all those, you know, us drummers had a little click going on. So there's all that. Bon Jovi, you know, John Bon Jovi with Tico and all them. And Phil X is playing with Bon Jovi now. So it kind of all intertwines.
Isn't that great? You're in a drummer community.
Yeah.
Can you imagine yourself in a wheelchair and all the drummers are just drumming off the wall?
You know, I always tell people, I said, when I die, do not put sticks in the coffin because I'm done by that.
You know, when you were with Mitch Ryder, I'm just saying, that song, Little Loopy, whatever Lou, that's a great song.
Yeah. Latin.
Did you play on that?
No, I just toured with him. I didn't play on any of his records.
Man, that's a song. That's a song and a half, and that's written by Bill Medley.
Oh yeah, yeah, great stuff.
Great song, isn't it?
That was a great way to learn how to play rock and roll. Playing with Mitch, he was no joke, you know.
Don't die on me. From your rock and roll lifestyle. See, I don't have that problem. I'm not the celebrity like yourself. You see, I don't walk down the street and someone knows me. See, you walk down the road and they go, "How you going, Liberty? Hi, Liberty." There's the Statue of Liberty.
Just that, you know, I know guys like you, and you know what you would do if I died right now. You'd be blabbing all over the place. Hey, I was the last one to interview him.
Hey, did you just hear my joke? Did you get my joke?
Yeah, what?
I'll just repeat it because it's so good. You're walking down the street in New York, and everybody goes, "Watch, hello, Liberty. Hello, Liberty. Hello, Statue of Liberty." Did you like that one?
Yeah. You know,
has anyone said that to you?
It's not far from here.
Yeah, but that's right.
I can almost look out the window and see it.
Has anyone said that to you before?
No, but my uncle used to have, his name was Liberty too, you know, who I was named after. And he used to have fights because the girl in this harbor was a girl. The statue was a girl. So
were you named after the Statue of Liberty?
No. I was named after my uncle. My real name is Libertori.
Okay, sorry.
That's my real name. You know?
You are funny, you know. You know, when I went to New York, I went on the boat with my wife, and we went near the Statue of Liberty, and then we went to the island. You know, the island that's got the prison on it?
Staten Island. Oh, you went to Governor's Island? You went to Staten Island? Where did you go?
Staten Island. I think that's the one. It's got like a prison
Oh,
or something.
you took the ferry across.
Yeah, that's what.
When you
Like the Rolls Royce, am I?
it's free. The ferry is free.
You know what I like about New York? You can eat 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's crazy. And that, what do you call it? Times Square? That's a buzz down there.
You try not to go there. Too many tourists.
No, listen, when I went there, we went and saw the Carole King Story. They had the Broadway show. That was a beauty.
Yeah, it was good. Maybe we were in the audience at the same time. I saw it too.
You saw that one, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Now, look, can we go back to the 70s? Did you used to go to rock concerts? Like when Kiss was big, did you used to go?
Kiss? No, I never saw Kiss.
Who did you see?
Oh, the 70s, Earth, Wind and Fire. You know, 70s, you know, you're jarring my brain here.
Yeah, that's good. I'm talking about your beautiful life now.
So the Police, and when did the Police come out? 80s, right?
Yeah, whatever. Message in a Bottle.
Oh, I saw the Police like 3 times, you know.
I like their songs. They're on repeat. Message in a Bottle. What's that other song? I can't stand something. They're very good at repeating the lyrics, those songs.
Yeah, of course. Because he was a teacher, Sting. That's
Red Light. What's that one? Yeah. Red Light. I remember that.
That's Roxanne.
That's right. See, you remembered. Roxanne. You don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne. Yeah, it's a great song, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, the one that nobody can hit the notes in that one. Nobody can sing that one. Just now. There's a whole bunch of dogs coming in from the back now there.
You know, I should sing a bit of a Billy Joel song just for memories.
No.
Hey, Billy, if you're watching, a big hello from Plastic EP. Say hello.
Billy, you got to do this interview, Billy.
Yeah, get Billy on. I mean, he's your friend. I want to interview him. I want to tell him about his fantastic rock style. He's a great guy. I've seen him. He's a good friend of Paul McCartney's.
Yeah, he is.
Have you met Paul?
I played with him in the studio.
At Paul's studio?
No, in the studio in New York City in '86. We did a song called Beautiful Night. And, Ringo did it too. And the Ringo version got on Flowers in the Dirt. And my version now is on this new box set that he put out. I think you got to spend like $900 to get it. But, it's crazy.
No, I can't spend $900. I'd rather spend $900 on pizza.
Ooh, pizza, yeah.
You got to tell you something. There's a guy here.
Listen, you put pineapple on your pizza, don't you, down there?
No, listen, there's a guy here. Listen to the story. It's true. He's got 3-4 pizza places here, but prestige ones, really great ones. And he went to Italy, and he won the award for the best pizza in the world. He went to Italy, won the award there, came back. So why would I go to Italy to have a pizza? I'd just go to him. He won the award for the world's best pizza.
He didn't come to Brooklyn to get the award. He didn't come to Brooklyn to have pizza. Listen to me. Mike, I have cousins that live in Sydney. They live in Sydney. We saw discos. My mother's family is in Sydney. Great. Yeah.
You can just get a boat and come on down. You know, one of those cargo ships if you want to save money?
Yeah. Like the one that they caught King Kong and put him in there. Thing.
Man, I don't know what to say, but, of all the interviews I've done, this has just been a gas from the start to the end. And look, we've only spoken about nice things. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but nothing bad. Nothing bad. How long have we been doing this? 40 minutes already.
I'm loving it. If you got to go and iron the shirt or something, it's all right.
The bathroom's just stuck. If I take my headphones off, that means I went to the bathroom.
Hey, Liberty, can I ask you? If your rocket ship's taken off, it's all right. You know, Mickey Dolenz used to build a gyrocopter in his house in the 60s, a gyrocopter. So I'm thinking, since you're Liberty Devitto, right?
Yeah.
You're probably behind one of those doors. You're actually building a rocket ready to go to the moon.
Let me ask you something. Do you edit this, or did this comes on just like this?
This is staying as it is, man. This is staying as it is.
My wife used to work with the monkeys.
Really?
She's got a great picture of like 3 of them and her.
How did she work with the monkeys?
She worked for a guy, David Fishoff.
Oh, yeah, he's great. He got them together in '86.
Yeah, and he managed them. And yeah.
That's fantastic. Did your wife collect monkey collectibles?
No, she didn't. She didn't.
I can tell because she's into the monkeys. Very nice lady. I haven't met her. Why don't you call her in to say hello on the interview? Just tell her to come here, but don't tell her we're recording it, because that's what I do with my wife. My wife comes and brings a cup of tea, and I say, can you come here? And she doesn't know that I'm live. And then she has a look and leaves. And then she goes, he's a nice person. And I go, yeah, you were live. You're on the show. You're on the interview. You know, I've got to ask you something. You're going to love this. I always say this, but it's the truth. Do you remember that song by Robert Palmer, Looking for Clues?
Sure.
You do? I'm glad. You're one of the people that remembers.
Of course I do.
I've got the kind of marriage where it's looking for clues, because my wife always gives me 1/5 of the information and the other 4/5 I have to work out.
Oh, my wife does the same thing. She tells me something, and as she's finishing it, she's walking away. And I'm like, okay, I got to figure out what the
that's
ending
no good.
is.
See, my wife is very good. I'm very good at cluttering things, you know, collecting stuff. And my wife is very good at getting rid of things. So what she does is, when I'm not home, she gets my stuff, puts it out in the tree, in the street, hoping that someone takes it. I'm oblivious to what's gone missing. Right?
Yeah. I'm just the opposite. My wife will let me do whatever I want until I say something about her stuff, and then she'll go, you're not going to tell me about my stuff now. Look at your side of the bed. Yeah.
It's amazing. You know what? All I want to say is, what a fantastic interview this has been. And it's been really a gas out of this world. Do you agree?
My stomach's starting to hurt. I'm laughing so much.
Doesn't matter. You made a new friend now. Plastic EP's your friend.
I'm coming to your house when we come to Australia.
Yeah, you're coming to my house when you come to Melbourne. No problem. As soon as this over this pandemic, you're coming over.
Freaking pandemic. Can't wait.
So what we're going to do is, where can they get your book now? Tell everybody where they should buy your book, because you have to buy that book, which is Liberty, Life, Billy, and the Pursuit of Happiness. And I can tell that you found happiness. You look very happy.
I am very happy. I'm so happy. No, you can get it on Amazon.com or HudsonMusic.com. They're the publishers, Hudson Music. But Amazon, Amazon, you get it quick.
Okay, can I ask you, obviously your publishers are looking after you, and when things get a bit better, you'll be doing some book signings. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so too, because you can sell more books.
Yeah.
Liberty, I want you to say goodbye to your fans and just stay there. Just say goodbye to everyone. I want you to end the show. So I'm Plastic EP. You're Liberty Devitto. We had a fantastic talk here. So from Melbourne, Australia, and Brooklyn, can you just take us out on the show and stay there?
All right. Hey, this is Plastic EP, and it's been a pleasure being on this show. Thank you, Liberty Devitto, for being so funny.
Thank you, Liberty. Thank you.